the #1 player to watch at Worlds 2016, and maybe he didn't reach the expectations of that as cleanly as he would have liked. But he has been one of our most consistent stars in Korea, double MVP of the regular season in 2016, and a great career after what was a bit of a false start.
Yeah. Well, now looking to try and prove himself in what is his game. Oh, there's the value. Look at that. The volley damage onto the 2 damage dealers on the side of BBQ. KT, they've got a huge front line this time with the Alistair, the Galio, and the Renekton. But BBQ have set themselves up with a pretty sweet front-to-back composition with late-game damage coming out of Cass and Tristana. I feel like as far as well-roundedness is concerned, they're pretty happy.
Absolutely. In terms of well-roundedness, Echoes and Legion's better than what KT has put together, but KT knows what KT wants to do. Fawn apparently wants to take 3 damage, but that's just unfortunately how it is for Galio
Yeah.
if he doesn't get access to the minion wave first. Why the Super Leash is really costly for Galio against Cassiopeia, because he wants to get in and auto-attack the ranged minions and start using the Winds of War early. Otherwise, it is a painful lane.
Well, probably didn't need to walk up. Just waiting for those Winds of War like you were talking about. And now the level 2's hit by attempt, and this gets arguably worse. Bad news. Score going to be able to take down his blue buff and see how quickly it takes him to get to that top lane and start killing crazy over and over again.
Did it last game, but nice defensive vision. Does spot him out. He's going towards red buff. Les has the info on him.
Yeah, the Cocoon's going to land first, though, as Score. First one to react.
Cassio
Red buff
get there
ticking
first.
down. Yeah, Cass could potentially move over as there's a repel. Gets the Q, and Score's going to start it off with a solo kill in the jungle.
Super well done. Cassio doesn't actually make it over. Doesn't matter that the rotation was coming through from the Renekton because he does it alone. Excellent stuff from Score, and the worst case scenario is Score picking up first blood to start this early game snowball.
Yep, and it means more vision in the jungle here as well. It means Crazy's even more in trouble. If there's anyone that was going to get ahead to make BBQ's life awful, it's Score this time around as he gets the ward down. Bless is going to be discovered very quickly, and there's going to be a Cocoon well and truly prepared for this Rek'Sai if he comes in. It's going to be the smite, as Score is just going to try and deny Bless of everything.
Kind of amazing that map awareness, which is something that BBQ showed very heads-up play in Game 2 with the tempt move to take down the 2 inhibitors. What lets them down is bot lane.
Yep, there's the stun. Coming in from Mata, gets the heal off as well as Totoro. The Ignite's down on top of him. Deft still has the flash. That's the last auto, as now they're going mano a mano, Ghost versus Deft. And the autos are coming from the Ashe. The volley's there. The slow is relatively consistent. One more auto. The heal. That's going to be the commitment, and that's the double kill on the bot side. KT, you mentioned the fact that the Thunderstorm's coming. It's coming early, Papa Smithy. And now here's that gank we were talking about. The repel gets Score out of there as Crazy. Eating up a potion. KT, rush of blood to the head wasn't massive there. They are going to survive what could have been a bit of a disaster.
But this is what happens when you anger KT Rolster. This is what they're capable of. Tempt. Not enough damage, take him down, but Atlas, you talked about how it was a balanced draft from BBQ, how it dealt with KT well in the late game. KT knew all of that. They always know that. But they are a team that prides themselves in the early game. And if you get exploded by this sort of aggression, you add on some objectives, you get the early items. The late game never comes when KT rolls to have these sort of starts, more often than not.
And Deft gets the best back as well. Double kill on the bot side means that at 21 CS he has a BF sword versus double daggers, Papa Smithy.
I have the not like this face going on because it's no AD from items and it's a BF sword from items.
APOC, no. Sorry, I went too deep on the reference. I apologize, Papa Smithy, but it's one of those times where those 2 items not exactly going to stand up to this big old sword that Deft has. See whether Mata's going to be able to go even extra aggressive here in this lane, or whether he's going to sit back and play some cowbell. What are you doing, Mata? You had opportunities there. Play some cowbell.
Poor Crazy.
Oh, no.
People are going to start thinking that Nara is bad into matchups like Renekton and Maokai based on results this week. It's not actually true. It's just that teams are pounding it about as hard as possible with the team plays.
And also with compositions that involve the likes of an Elise and a Renekton.
Well, the Elise got her Roman boots on. Mana does not want to face check that rush.
Well, does get the pulverize, but there's the jump in from Ghost. He wants to find the damage, but Mata should fall down here. That's going to be the reset. Bless took a lot of damage. And the knock-up comes in. Dark Passage, thankfully, there. Deft is just more happy to play Dosido 1 versus 3.
Probably happy to get a bit more bonus experience now that his lane mate is gone. Never ideal to give over a kill to Shana with how far behind she was. Pawn might be dead here. Okay.
That was the classic, I'm going to wander around my minion wave and take a billion Twin Fangs.
I'm sorry, saying something in comms about pathing.
Yeah.
Speaking of pathing.
Score came from the enemy base. As there's the flash from Smeb. The hop's not enough. That's going to be that. The dice gets Smeb out. Ghost almost died. Okay. Deft's pretty strong with his BF sword.
You feel a bit blessed because we get to see games like this from KT once every couple of weeks where they know what they need to do, they all execute, they all have their mechanics. There's a lot of trademark champions like Mata jumping onto the Alistar. And it just looks like a day out. It looks like they're having great fun. You wonder how games like Game 2 can happen when your ceiling is this.
Yeah. And it happens because Winter's Bite does too much damage, Pop Smitty. That's why.
Somehow I think the VOD review will have a couple more facets than just that.
That's the play-by-play response. I apologize. Bless should be able to start this one off. It is going to be handed over to Tempt. Second blue. Mata getting his roam on, but he's spotted by a ward. Good, really good vision, actually, from BBQ. Mata does spot the control ward. Totoro cancels his auto attack, unfortunately. Smeb looking for something. He's already taken down that top lane out of turret, remember? Oh, the red side jungle is not where you want to be, Bless. Hero's entrance and Elise and a Renekton can be there pretty damn fast. That's the flash cocoon! Missing very severely. And that's going to be KT locking down this red buff. Oh, no, they're not. Bless gets it. So that's a free flash from Score. Net gain for BBQ once again. And that's with 3 control wards invested in the top side. So more than you'd expect for Bless being able to pick up a red buff. They're not done, though. Oh, no. This is that feeling when you play top in solo queue and you're like, I'm just not going to play League of Legends again for the rest of the week. It doesn't look likely, does it? No. You just don't. You start to lose a bit of hope. Okay, Score needs to really hit a cocoon one time. Thankfully, Smeb's able to take down the big Krogs, otherwise that would have added even more insult to injury. If Deft could see this, he'd be hoping that he's stolen the line skill shot talent from Score. Score's just saying, see Deft, you're actually fine. It's really easy to miss these skill shots. Don't worry, dude. That's teamwork right there. Yeah. Perfect. Well, Pickaxe now done for Deft as well. He's gone for that Snowball Infinity Edge. Unless he'll have enough to go Zealy next. It is the theory if you just want to be a turret destroyer. Crit, not able to work on the old turrets, so don't really want that portion of the Infinity Edge. Didn't jungle around the bot side at all. Bless will be spotted out. Ghost and Totoro are coming to give him a bit of backup. He's only level 5 because of all the invading. Yep, Heroic Entrance is available from Pawn as well, as he could potentially move over here. There's the teleport. They want to start this one up. Bless committed to taking down the dragon. They do so. As now Mata is in a lot of trouble. Doesn't have the Unbreakable Will. Actually flashes out of the way of the Petrifying Gaze as there's the Justice Punch, the taunt. Ghost has to flash. The arrow's going to land, but Tempt cleanses it away. And KT, they manage to get Bless and Totoro, but the dragon goes to BBQ. You have to love watching Mata on the Alistar, the most elusive giant cow that you'd ever see, getting away from all of that and also giving the setup for the hero's entrance. No bonus kills after the first row. We'll watch here, though. Mata's going to put down a deep ward, but the teleport's already started from Renekton in the bot side. Headbutts in the Alistar. I think they're just going to get a single kill. But watch Mata, who doesn't use the Blast Cone, then flashes out the Petrifying Gaze. Follow flash from Tempt, but that's just as the hero's entrance is coming down. That was beautiful stuff from KT on the back end. They got cleanses, they got flashes, no more bonus kills. That was close. Yeah, I actually felt like that was luck of the draw with which minion or Deft was going to be hit by that death sentence. But thankfully for Deft, it was the creep. They got that one taken down, and I could have sworn that Mata was going to die in that last fight, but thankfully Pawn gets there in time. You would have thought that they were ones that played on the same team. They're in China. Certainly not. 3,900, 4,000, I guess now. Gold lead
for KT Rolster over BBQ. This is what they do with these sort of comps. We haven't even seen the maximum value out of the Galio. He kind of wants a short lane turret dive, but top lane turret went down so fast that he hasn't been able to do that.
Yep. And of course, guys, I didn't forget that Marta and Pawn played together on Samsung White. That was a long time ago, you know? Sometimes that sort of synergy doesn't last forever. Certainly had it in that last fight. Okay, Pawn feeling okay.
The historical bonds are there.
Yeah, that's true. The friendship lasts forever. Is that what you're saying, Pop Smithy?
That's right. Look at Patless. We were gone for 2 years, and yet here we are.
That's true. That's true. Felt like nothing changed, Papa Smithy. You're still making me do things like radio broadcasts mid commentary session.
Nothing's changed in top lane either.
Well, actually, the cocoon landed.
That's true. That was a plot twist that Crazy didn't see coming.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, maybe Skull was feeling bad. That's going to be 7-1 as far as the kills are concerned. KT getting even more work done. This turret may not be long for the world. It's going to keep taking top lane turrets, apparently. It's KT's method. Crazy dead for the second time. Will spell its demise. Close to 5,000 gold to lead at 12 minutes into the game. And I seem to remember saying something about, well, KT didn't have up to 4,000 gold leads at about 15 minutes into the game.
Well, they don't have a 4,000 gold lead at 15 minutes.
It hasn't been 15 minutes yet.
Also, it's like 6,000.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dear. They seem to just be able to take whatever they want. That is going to include the Rift Herald. As everybody else is sort of making use of that added, or that removed pressure by being able to take their own things in the jungle.
You start to think maybe Gnar is going to be looked over as a pick, like it was for about a year. We didn't have any Gnar in Korea till QV brought it back about middle of the summer season, and the main reason was a situation like this, Atlas, where if things don't go well, if you can't play an extended laning phase with your turret up, the enemy's turret up, taking advantage of bruises with your ranged auto attacks, when things go wrong, you get scenarios like this that we've seen from Marin twice recently, that we're seeing from Crazy here, when Gnar may never do anything. He's building for lane with a Black Cleaver. He doesn't have a lane to fight in. Literally doesn't have an inner turret at 12 minutes into the game. His team fight's not going to be fantastic because he's been sapped of experience, and he doesn't have a team fight build because he went for the Black Cleaver. What the next item is for Crazy is going to be difficult to decide. Maybe a Randuin's, I guess. When you fall behind, your options are poor. When you have an extended laning phase, surely is a strong split pusher and team fighter. But that preposition, that thought, is happening less and less reliably in recent weeks.
Yeah, just doesn't seem like it's an option here for Crazy. And thinking about second items, I mean, he's yet to complete his Black Cleaver. I think second item might be Ruby Crystal or Giant's Belt. You know, maybe start small, Papa Smithy, because it's a rough time economically for this Gnar at the moment. Currently 30 CS, close to 40 CS down. Smeb is having a field day. Goes back now, it's time to start building some of these defensive items as Pawn, Winds of War, takes down the blue buff, and his adaptive helm is completed as well. He's only behind a little bit here in this mid lane, but saw how difficult it was for the old Galio into this matchup.
And he won't miss any creeps anytime soon, because now he is not interested in the Petrifying Gaze or even the Twin Fangs from the Cassiopeia. Rift Herald mid lane is what KT wants to do. Put that mid lane turret early. Sitting on that Rift Herald for a little while now.
Lots of vision available for KT as well towards this top side, so being able to move from that completely obliterated top lane towards this mid lane is very, very easy. Smeb, so much control, despite the fact that they haven't cleared out that one cheeky control ward.
Speaking of control wards, couple down bot lane, even as advanced as the brush that Marta is now just chilling in.
Ghost, I would not recommend this. Even with Totoro, I would not recommend this. Okay, the cocoon is going to land, but oh, good. Rocket jump registering beforehand. Still will mean the end of this turret bot lane and the third one to fall in favor of KT.
Duration about another 40 seconds or so with the Rift Herald, so they'll be able to get their minion wave pushing in bot lane, and then you have to imagine mid lane is where they're going to be placing that Rift Herald. A little nuance to commentate, really, Atlas. It was all pretty clear what happened in the early game, and now there is no what should BBQ do. It's very much losing the minimum, not giving up bonus kills. Even sitting under turrets if you're squishy is not an option when Alistar and Galio can come ruin your day. So KT get to make every first move, and just like in Game 2, when we saw the smite go wide, they're kind of praying and hoping for a situation like this at BBQ.
And I guess the question we have to ask now is, what does KT do to execute this perfectly? I mean, taking down the outer turret with the Rift Herald is certainly a good start. It's KT continuing to put on the pressure. Smeb looking for a way in, but he's actually going to get pressured out. Totoro, oh, arrow's going to connect from Deft. There's a big headbutt, but good play to get Mata out.
A bit of restraint from KT. They didn't use the Unbreakable Will. They didn't try to combo in the ultimate from Pawn either. Flashes are up on BBQ, so blowing the flashes, then turret diving, rather than the former, is the right way to go.
I like it. It's unbridled aggression, like you were talking about and giving KT props for, Papa Smithy, that's got them to this 7,000 gold lead. But then it's reserved play to say that if there is an option for BBQ to get back in, KT are just denying it.
And you look at what they did, and you wouldn't think of reserved as the first word you'd think of, but given the context of what they can do and how much aggression they need to do, because KT are still on the timer, remember. They're doing better than expected, but they need to. With a team comp like this where Ashe is the only consistent damage in the late game, it is still reserved to not be turret diving in a turret at 17 minutes, and it is exactly what KT needed. So it's about the controlled aggression. It's about, once again, putting down the wards around the red side jungle. Baron is going to be difficult. Elise does decent Baron damage. It's not Play the Ruin King Ashe, but she'll do respectable damage anyway. Forcing things is possible, and getting out a flash from Tempt or Ghost will probably be the go button on actually going for one of those aggressive turret dives.
I just feel like the turn from KT is a little bit easier this time around as well. I mean, you've got Headbutt Pulve into Heroic Entrance for the massive bouncy castle. You've got a very dead Crazy here on the bottom side. Oh, no. Not as dead as I thought. Does have to get out. Actually holds onto his flash there as well.
Scores a monster of Coons in the last 3 or 4.
Yeah. The ones before that, not so great. Wonder when we're going to get dipped back into the other score.
He only hits important Coons, I guess.
Okay, Marta's actually going to get thrown back to his team. Unbreakable Will's there. There's the Heroic Entrance as Ghost does get himself out of the way. Def now trying to be aggressive as they stand on top of the Dark Passage, and that is going to spell the end of Bless. Oh, Skull was thinking about trying to go for more, as there's another majestic arrow.
We've seen those hit in other skins, so I guess the hitbox on this one looked smaller than it actually is. I would never say anything about buying power.
Nope.
Sponsored by Power.
Word Ash is my favorite. Sponsored. Perfect.
Coon just to zone Tempt away for a moment. That will be the inner turret going down.
Yeah. The last remaining inner turret as well. 6 turrets removed from the map by KT. Now only inhibitor turrets to take down. Dominus was popped by Smeb. That was just to assert dominance. And at 20 minutes into the game, it's a 10,000 gold lead. And back when Dragon gave you a bunch of money, that was still an almost insurpassable lead at this stage of the game. Now, arguably even worse.
I mean, what can BBQ build to deal with the damage coming through from Def? The easy answer is armor, but because they haven't got their core items down, armor's still far away. For Crazy, who wants a Randuin's to try to deal with the Ashe. Rek'Sai just got Cinderhulk. He's like, slow down, guys. Like, I need to get something going in my item build. KT are so accelerated. The kills going onto Def is ideal. And even Smeb is doing a lot of help with the Black Cleaver. So closest target is going to die very, very fast, even though we mentioned that BBQ had the front-to-back teamfighting comp on paper in the late game. In the early game, that's actually what KT have.
Yeah. And Smeb is not going to die anytime soon. He's now building towards his Gargoyle Stoneplate, has his Randuin's done. So even running away from the guy is going to be frustratingly difficult. 2-item spike, like you said. Deft really starting to itemize. And you've got Pawn moving towards his Thornmail, as well as a Frozen Heart, some other item coming out. Could have been even that Righteous Glory that we talk about, which I keep getting confused about now that it builds out of a Glacial Shrield.
I thought you were going to swear there for a second. Wash your mouth.
I never would.
Neither would I.
I'm not like you, Papa Smithy. I don't have a potty mouth. I say heck.
You do. A heck of a lot.
And golly. And Jeepers. Jeepers being my first effect. Okay, Marta gonna get the knock up, but he gets hit by the death sentence. And Unbreakable Will does come in. Heroic entrance. Ghost pops. Okay. Well, I guess it's part of the name fantasy there, as he's most certainly one of those now. But that was so much damage, mostly by score, I believe.
And now Def can just turn on to Baron. They don't have fantastic Baron damage, but they have reliable Baron damage. Ghost is dead. Bless is far away, and this should be Baron to KT. Or...
Okay. Dark Passage comes in. This is a 50-50 Papa Smithy. As Marta, oh, massive knock-up! And that is going to be the steal! Oh my god, Bless does it again!
How does this keep happening? The fight will continue, but BBQ just want to get out.
Yeah, well, Pawn's going to see whether he can try and catch these guys up, but they did not kill Bless in time, and that is once again 3 members of BBQ with Baron. Is it happening again? Oh my god.
The first instinct is no, but you have to say that suddenly they have super minions to stop for the turret dives from being as possible, Atlas. And Ocean Drake is no trade that KT wanted to opt into. And the madness continues when it looked oh so clear a moment ago.
That is just unacceptable, Papa Smithy. Acceptable. Unacceptable.
Words are hard.
Yeah, they are.
It's still a 10,000 gold.
Yes, it is. It is. But, you know, you get flashbacks at this stage. There was a certain game that I'm referencing from a few minutes ago that also looked like KT were in some control of. Admittedly, yes. The transition was, this game it's 10,000 gold. The last game it was 2,000 gold. And Pawn does not have the opportunity to hula hoop a shockwave. Try and give BBQ even more ability to get back in.
Galio a lot more committal, but this does buy BBQ 3 minutes. It does buy them time where KT do not want a turret dive, and the Minion Waves won't really be in the spot in 2 lanes to actually be able to break the base, because KT have not broken the base yet. The Baron buff delay is significant, and what that represents in terms of items, I mean, Crazy has a Jerome's Fist, so he's still nowhere near. I would assume he's building a slow Frozen Mallet, which seems pretty bad given how behind in the game they are. We're going to see the replay. We're watching mostly onto the jungler here. Bless, he's involved in the Wombo, but flashes out after the Alistair and just smites away the Baron.
Oh my. Just shouldn't have been possible, you know?
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, well, and I guess if history's taught us anything, it's that Bless is better at smiting.
Significantly so.
Yeah.
Smep's all alone.
Well, how tanky actually is he, is the question, as the teleport's going to come in.
And be cancelled.
And he's dead.
Okay. The Ash Arrow was the best bit, for sure.
We really need Ash Arrow to make, like, a noise as it's flying across the screen, like, oh.
We need the Ash Arrow to go past, and then someone to insert the dog on fire. This is fine.
Yeah, exactly.
After the Ash Arrow missed.
There's a lot of things. I think I might do some editing of my sound files when I get home.
Make some sick WMVs of this game.
Oh yeah! Love me some of them WMVs, Pops. Me. 4-0-4 though is Def's scoreline, and he now has that double Zeal item Dream situation. Rapid Fire Cannon completed as well as the Static Shiv.
I'd love to have a listen in and know where the shot calling is at, because I've heard some of KT's shot calling, especially when they're doing well in spring season, very measured, listening to Marta's calls. Hard to be measured after a scenario like that. Is it a blame game? Is it just the measured shot calling? That's the sort of info that really would sway your opinion on games like the Telecom War and the playoffs games that KT will have to play moving forward. We don't have that luxury.
Deft is very all alone. Okay, Bless the Ghost. Not going to be able to catch up. Ash moves away just in time. Double Zeal and Boots 2 means that, yeah, Ash moves fast enough.
But the Baron buff is off the game, so we don't have to talk about that for anymore. It's no longer being worn by anyone. The gold lead is still there. KT can still turret dive and go for plan A. And there really hasn't been too many significant items to sway.
Arrow! Actually landed onto Totoro. Does get the death sense, but it's a really good pulverize. And it does exactly that. That's 2 very quick kills. The dive's all too easy. And it was like clockwork. Papa says it. And then it happens. KT get the tower dive, and they take down the inhibitor.
It might not be able to close out the game, but breaking the base without a second Baron spawning is big for KT Rolster. Renekton bringing up a minion wave in the bot side. KT, about 15 seconds before Bless respawns. No front line for Crazy because of the Drone's Fist. And the Giant Spell is okay.
Yeah, good flash from Tempt. It's out of the way. Has the Petrifying Gaze. Now, Deft takes down the turret. I say that because there's not a heck of a lot of high damage from everybody else onto these structures, but does seem to be enough. Okay, Ghost does at least get the explosive charge onto Deft. Oh, Bless was looking for it. Did have the flash, so Deft had to respect it.
Whee. Funny how we're going to have Longzhu versus KT on Sunday. And Longzhu just came off at Game 3 where they won, what, 14-0 in kills, and yet we were not sure about Baron setups and Baron steals that came through.
Yeah.
And we kind of have the same queries about KT, because KT have had a wonderful early game, something we know they're capable of, but have mismanaged around Baron in different fashion, a bit more comical in this particular game.
Really? You think it's more comical that he just flashes over and steals it than it was stolen by a Winter's Bite?
I mean this series than this
game.
But yes.
Okay, yes, okay.
Compared to Longzhu's Baron steals they had,
yeah,
is what I was referring to. But absolutely, you're correct on the Braum steal in Game 2. All I mean is that we have kind of the same queries for both teams going into that all-important match on Sunday. These two teams, Longzhu yesterday, KT today, even SKT, everyone's tying a top spot. So making these sort of mistakes is going to be I think that could potentially be exploited. Whoever can really make those adjustments. The rest of the pie was looking good. It was only the crusts that represent the Baron in this metaphor that need work.
Well, this game, despite losing that Baron, they are able to continue making aggressive moves. Deft wanting to find some more damage to this turret. The 3-item Cassiopeia. So Tempt does at least do some damage, so Deft needs to be a little bit careful. Thankfully, Warlord's Bloodlust, as well as all of his movement speed items, are helping him get that space he needs, get these autos onto this turret.
Crazy has a very delayed 2 items, but they're for laning, not for team fighting so much, apart from the health they provide.
Well, does have Mega Gnar. KT just looking for that one remaining inhibitor turret.
Well, they have a slow minion push in top lane, so that's why they were happy to play around mid. Rek'Sai wanted to go and take away one of those minions, but should be mentioning that Baron is spawning at this present moment as well.
Yep, see whether KT want to go unleash it for BBQ once. I mean, start the Baron once again.
Marta's on duty here.
Yeah, they know where Bless is, and thankfully this time it looks like that. Oh no. He's getting in. There's the flash over this time, and finally Score gets themselves a Baron. The Cocoon lands onto Totoro as well, but he gets himself out of the way. Crazy. Oh my goodness, he feels like a tank support at about 11 minutes into the game. This Gnar, as Totoro just walking around. Score eventually decides to put him out of his misery. As Tempt, he's also going to go down. Deft chasing after Crazy. The Narbar in a decent position. And Ghost is still alive, so some of the damage is here, but without the Cassiopeia, there's just no threat if KT decide to dive. If there even was any threat anyway, into the Cocoon. Deft picks up the kill.
KT Rolster, they're going to win from here, Atlas. They will go 16-3. Let's get a couple more they're trying for.
Yeah, the Void Rush is going to be a rush to the Death Chamber, as now Nexus turrets should get focused. Deft celebrating with some volleys into the fountain, but it is a delayed one, but it's a KT victory in the end.
No one will deny that KT, when they pick for early game, can execute. And yet, like with the Longzhu series yesterday, you do leave both these series with question marks. KT thought it would be a 2-0 stroll through the